Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Woo! It is a great progression that we have hit today, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta tell you, it's still a process. This is still a process that we all are going through. Progression is key. And I started my swimming up again. As you may already know, I fractured my toe a while back, stopped everything, and so now I'm back at it. I have a couple of races in mind, and just got you guys here for the ride. Hopefully you learn some things. But today, ladies and gentlemen, is about the swim. It's about my experiences with the swim. Is about what I've used so far to practice. And, yeah. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't swam before, then you definitely want to take your time with the swimming. You want to get a coach. You can also go to YouTube, anything like that. There's a lot of coaches on YouTube that show you the basics on what it is that you need to do, how to do it, that kind of thing, and you'll be fine. If you're training just to practice, just to get exercise, it's one thing. If you're training for a race, a marathon, that's another whole nother thing altogether. And what I've learned is technique is important. The way you breathe is important, especially coming from having COVID in the past, having had COVID in the past real bad. And, the healing aspect of my lungs and getting used to breathing in the water again. So this process for me anyway has been, in the beginning, had been a struggle to progression, but I've slowly gotten back to acclimate myself to the water and being calm and all of that good stuff, because it's important to know how to breathe properly underwater and to be able to breathe while you are swimming, especially if it's for a triathlon like an Ironman or a sprint or anything of that nature. So I just want to give you guys some experience that I've had and some advice. First things first, ladies and gentlemen, what I did was I purchased some swim trunks. Okay, so let me bring that over. So initially, I know you heard that. Initially, the swim trunks that I purchased were these. Regular swim trunks, right? Has the lining and everything. They're good for what it is. Sorry. They're good for what it is that we are trying to accomplish. As far as practice is concerned. But over time, I had trouble with the bubbles in the water filling up the pockets and everything. And I found out later that it's better for you to have a different form of swim gear to combat that. You like buoy-like shorts, things of that nature. So similar to these. It's similar to these. These are my bike shorts. So it's similar to these, but without the cushion that's in the middle for the seat. And so those assist with being able to swim faster, smoother through the water, easier in terms of pace, and it doesn't feel like you have a parachute slowing you down. Okay, so that's what I did. So I had that. I also, for exercise purposes, like I said, I went ahead and purchased Training Peaks. I also signed up for a trainer's workout program for the triathlon, who's a professional triathlon runner. And he gave me certain swim techniques and practices that I should do to strengthen my swim. One, I had to pick this up, a floaty kind of thing, so that it'll assist with the strength of my technique from my legs, the technique while I'm swimming with my legs. Okay, so I'm basically holding it out and I'm paddling with my legs, but I'm doing it in a form where it's strengthening and my body is getting used to the process. And then after a few laps, I put this away and then I go back to swimming regularly to get my body to see the difference and to acclimate it to the proper way of leg swimming. If I'm saying it right, probably not. The other thing, I got these. So the fins, I put the fins on to assist me with the strength of my legs, to assist with the movement of the leg in the water. So that has helped me out a lot in strengthening my legs for the swim and building the structure of my form as well. Got another thing. The paddle is what I use for my hand form, where I'll put it on and it keeps the form so that it teaches your body how to cup the water when you're swimming, right? And bringing it back. So this is very, very, very helpful for your form. And then, so I'll use these for a couple of laps, and then I'll put them away and then just swim. This, when you're swimming with these, it increases your speed significantly. It's crazy. And then there was another thing that I used, this over there also, but it was to assist with my breathing so that I didn't have to worry about breathing and just focus on my form when I was swimming. But I realized, due to having COVID, that it seemed a lot harder for me to breathe better with that than for me to just do it on my own. So I just stopped using it. But these items are they're like to assist with the progression of your swim and your growth in swimming. I'm not an expert in swimming, and I'm just explaining to you what my experience has been so far throughout this process. I did swim starting when I was about 3 or 4 years old. So I do have experience with swimming. I'm not a newbie. I'm not a beginner swimmer, but I'm not an Ironman swimmer. I'm not like an advanced, Michael Phelps type individual. So these things help to strengthen my foundation again and to build it back up. And so now the next step that I have is working on my my turns in the water. So when I swim, so my pool, because I'm using a pool right now. It's not open water. I've swam in open water in Florida before, but where I'm staying at, the pool, it's a pool. It's not in a lake or anything like that. And so when I get to the end of the pool, I am working on transitioning from one end to the other easier and smoother than I did before. I've seen a lot of people I guess they were taught how to swim across, do a backflip in the water and push off the wall and swim the opposite. I haven't done it yet, and honestly, I don't know if I am. I'm probably just gonna keep going to the end and swimming around as if there was some form of life buoy in the water, in the ocean, and just swim around it and go to the other side. So that's probably the process that I'm gonna utilize. I think that in all aspects of swimming and riding and running, it's all a system where your body has to get acclimated to the transition, continuous transition. Not to mention the amount of hours that you're going to be working out, or you're going to be swimming, the amount of hours you're going to be swimming, biking, and running. So sprint, I looked up the information. So a sprint triathlon is, I believe I could do that tomorrow. I looked at the amount of time. As a matter of fact, let me see. I wrote it on a notebook. So we're talking about a sprint swim is about 1,500 meters, 12.4 mile bike, and a 2.5 mile run. I've been doing this in a day, so I could do this in a day. Now, as far as the time of completion, I think it's 8 hours or maybe even 6 hours for a sprint. I'm not sure, the max. But then the 70-30 is, doing a 70-30 is 1.2 miles swim, not 1,500 meters, and 56.1 bike and 13.3 run. Okay, we're talking about miles. Okay, and the cutoff time for 70.3 is 8 hours and 30 minutes. No. That's wrong. Is it 8 hours and 30 minutes? Yeah, I think it is 8 hours and 30. It's 8 hours and 30 minutes for 70.3. And then for a full Ironman, it's about 17 hours as a cutoff time. So you have the opportunity to choose what it is that you want to do with working out, going to these Ironmans, or whichever one you decide you want to start with. Doing more research, I found that Ironman Oregon is one of the easier races. Just like I was informed that Jones Beach is more of a straightaway for each section of the race. But I was informed, or the Ironman in Oregon is actually, a lot of people feel that that one is the best for runners, for athletes. So I was looking into all that. I think the Oregon Ironman has already been sold out. And then we got the others. A Gulf Coast of Florida, where it gets really hot. Maine, Maryland, New York, Musselman, and there's another one here in New York that's a non-Ironman. It's a triathlon, but it's the Big Apple Triathlon. The Big Apple Triathlon has a sprint version, and it has the full version. And I'm considering doing a sprint version at the end of the year, and doing the Jones Beach, or the Jones Beach in September. So we'll see how it works out. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. We'll see what happens. Long story short, but that's how I am getting acclimated with the swimming. I have a schedule for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, usually. And then later on in the months, it increases from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. Where 1 or 2 of those days are brick sessions. Brick sections being you're doing multiple workouts within the same time frame, like back to back. And I think it's gonna work. It's been working, and to be honest, and it works with my schedule right now. So it's something that I plan on continuing up until it's time for the race. I still have to get acclimated with the rules and regulations of various races and making sure that I have all the things that I need for me to race, because there are things I've seen in videos that people go over that they messed up on, that they forgot, especially when it comes to the bike. And if there's a flat, if you get a flat on the bike, and you have to replace the bike tire, or you're out of breath and now you have to walk for a little bit to get to your next station, different things like that. Maybe even in the swim, your goggles fill up with the water, different things that people have experienced that they explained in the video that allowed them to fix for the next race. This is inclusive of nutrition, inclusive of various GUIs and juices and waters and things of that nature to keep their bodies moving and going throughout the 17 hours or the 8 hours or however long it takes you to complete the Ironman or the triathlon overall. So definitely take your time in this process, one day at a time, and you'll be okay. You're still watching my videos, go to my Instagram at official Mike Racer. That's official MikeRaysor on Instagram, and follow me, like whatever you got to do. I don't post the same thing on there as I do on here. So, let's see what happens. Like I said, we are encouraging one another to get to that next level. And hopefully every video that I put up, even after the 30 days, is going to be encouraging. And it's something that you can learn from my experience. All right. This is day 16, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace.